An American League battle, East versus Central. We'll see the Baltimore Orioles as they play against the Minnesota Twins. And here we go now to Minnesota to join Gary Thorne for the first pitch.
All about the American League, and the Twins are part of that, playing here at home. Happy to be with you. Our broadcast of 2K Sports Major League Baseball. And they love to be at the ballpark. Over 46,000 choosing to find their way here for this one. Minnesota starters on the mound. Here's a look. What is it about this Baltimore? And time for the offensive lineup. Here's a look at what Buck Showalter's done. Now, John, anyone in particular we should keep an eye on?
Well, you got to love Jim Thome, one of the great guys in the game of baseball. And 600 home runs means he's a pretty darn good player in the game of baseball, too. Don't be surprised if the pitcher makes a mistake, it doesn't end up a souvenir.
And here's Nick Markakis leading it off.
For the Baltimore Orioles, right fielder, number 21, Nick Markakis.
That's a called strike, 0-1. Career batting average .244 against the Twins. The pitch. A swing line to left center. And the leadoff man's on board. You love the offense when it gets going that way.
Now batting.
Well, these kind of hits right here, a double with no outs to start an inning, really puts the pitcher at a disadvantage and puts a lot of added pressure on that pitcher. Now a single can bring home a run.
RBI chance, J.J. Hardy looking to make contact. Here's the pitch. A swing and a hit to Span. One away. We'll take a moment here to show you how the Twins will stack up on defense. So, John, any individuals stand out?
Well, Justin Morneau is the leader on the field for his team, and he does a lot of things that the casual fan doesn't notice. He's great at picking up bad throws. He's a complete infielder. He's not afraid to throw. Very aggressive on bunt plays. That's what you ask from your first baseman. Don't just stand there and catch the ball. Make plays happen. Morneau makes them happen.
Swing and a liner to right center. And that gets in there. Thome a base hit. And Markakis scores.
What a great piece of hitting right there to give his team that early 1-0 lead.
Adam Jones.
Runner on for Adam Jones. Well, they've done themselves quite a job here. This is a nice push at this point of the ball game to get out in front.
A nice approach at the plate so far from this offense, and they came out of the gates early, determined to get up on the board.
2 away. And that will hold him at first.
Now batting for the Baltimore Orioles.
And a shot here for Matt Wieters with 2 down. Thome's on first. There's a swing and a liner towards the gap in left field. And it's starting to head out towards the wall. He's thinking extra bases. Thome's going to try to score. And he crosses the plate all the way from first base.
Now the hitter makes an adjustment, going down on the pitch at the bottom of the strike zone and drives it here.
And you get a run scored if you're in that at bat. What you want to do is make contact. He did. That pays off. And it's Betterment batting. And Steve, the offense continues to produce. They keep building on it.
Oh, it's a nice job here, jumping out in front early. Getting that production really helps change the strategy of the game, changes the pitches and the at-bats.
And it's in there. They're going to try to score Wieters all the way to the wall. And Wieters scores. And with that right-hander warming up in the bullpen here, I'm not sure quite what they're thinking.
Well, with the left-handed hitter on deck, he's probably getting ready for hitters later in the lineup.
So Chris Davis, RBI chance. Steve, we've seen them continue to charge. Swung on and ripped towards second. Throws to first, side is retired. They got a nice head start right there. The offense early. The O's lead it 3-0.
Now batting for the Minnesota Twins.
And our starting pitcher for Baltimore,
Number 2.
Steve, he's facing the Minnesota lineup today. Tell us his thoughts.
Well, the scouting report against this lineup is if you execute your pitches, hit your spots, keep the ball down in the zone, you can shut them down. And with a quality left-hander like this on the mound, he shouldn't have too much difficulty.
And with 2 strikes on him, Denard Span, he's going to have to shorten the swing.
Well, he's a very defensive hitter when the count gets to 0-2, so I'm going to try to get him to chase something out of the zone.
You're A swing and a miss, strike 3 on Span.
But when you're getting guys out with 3 pitches, you know you're dominating.
That's a time when you know you are definitely in the zone, and he was on that at bat. Got a chance now to see the lineup for the Twins. John, who do we keep an eye on?
Well, Denard Span has all the tools in the world to be a force at the top of the batting order. A good average hitter, a high on base guy, not going to hit a lot of home runs, but to me, he's the consummate leadoff hitter. He knows his limitations, but he knows his strengths, and he uses his strengths more than anyone.
First pitch is a slider in there, 0-1.
Speed is the name of the game for Ben Revere, and he hit the ground running last season after his early May call-up. 34 steals for him in that time he was up.
Take something off that time, in control with the count now, 0-2. And we were talking about Ben Revere. You go back, he is a spark player. One of those guys who gets things going. Speed, ability to keep the ball in play, John.
Yeah, in this day and age when everyone wants power, Ben Revere had 120 hits and only 15 of them weren't singles. With that speed, those are doubles and triples as far as he's concerned.
Now we'll show you how the Orioles are lined up around the field. Any picks, John?
Well, Matt Wieters has all the tools to be a special player. His hitting started to come around in 2011. He added some power to his game. But what I like about him is how hard he's worked at becoming a great defensive catcher. A tall catcher at 6'5", sometimes those guys take a little bit longer to progress, but his footwork is spectacular, his throwing is above average, and the way he handles the pitching staff right now, he's one of the best catchers in baseball.
And that is down. Twins first base hit.
Well, the last thing you want to do is have a quick inning. That 2-out hit right there will prolong the inning. Great piece of hitting.
And Willingham's in the box. Batting average for him, .342 against the Orioles.
And it's just amazing how he can have this team's number year in and year out.
The 0-0 delivery, a fastball taken for a strike. He delivers. That's a strike. Willingham's going to have to take a big defensive stance. Curveball, thought he had him, but it's 1-2.
That's not a spot where he wants to throw that pitch. It's danger right there if it's left out over the plate. He's got to bury that into the dirt.
You're out. Swing and a miss. 3 strikes on Willingham, and he's down. No runs on a hit, and they'll strand it. Orioles still out in front. And it's Mark Reynolds now to lead it off.
Number 12.
Well, what types of pitches have been put in play here today? Here's a quick breakdown of exactly that.
Well, guys, looking at his four-seam fastball, that pitch has been hit 3 times so far.
Well, that fastball is definitely not fooling this lineup. It's still early on. He's got the time to adjust, but it needs to happen now.
0-1 pitch is a change, swung on and missed. 0-2.
Well, that's an awfully big hack for such a slow off-speed pitch. Came up empty.
Foul! That's hit foul by Reynolds. Ball. Tried to fool him with a changeup, but it's 1-2.
Well, Gary's a pitcher ahead in the count right now, 1-2. You can afford to waste a pitch or two to see if you can't get him to hit one of your pitches.
Ball 2. Reynolds isn't fooled by that pitch, and the count is evened up. Here's the pitch. 2-2. Curve that misses. 3-2. And on a full count, foul ball. Another foul ball. Reynolds fighting in this at bat.
Well, I tell you what, you stay alive on that 7th pitch of that bat with just barely getting a piece of that ball to foul tip it.
Swung on. Vlad is hit hard by Reynolds. Fantastic catch by Span.
Second baseman, number 3, Ryan
Flaherty batting now.
Well, the American League East absolutely dominated the Minnesota Twins last year. The Twins only won 10 of 39 games. You can point to that as a major reason why the Twins finished 32 games out of first place.
That one in the alley. This could be 2 or more. And he ends up at second. That's a double.
Right fielder, number 21.
Well, this pitch right here catches way too much of the play, and he absolutely demolishes it. Let's see what they want to do here with 1 out and a base over.
Here's a swing and a ground ball. Out number 2.
Well, he gets the man over to third base, but with 2 outs now, it doesn't help much, but at least 90 feet closer to scoring.
The chance with a runner on third base comes to J.J. Hardy. Headed for the middle. That's in there. Should score the runner.
Coming to bat for the Baltimore Orioles.
A real solid approach, trying to work gap to gap up the middle of the field. Gets a fastball on the outer third of the plate, but able to stay on it and get himself a base hit to center.
And as Jim told me in the box now, and the offense here is putting on the show right now. They're in charge of this ball game.
Boy, so many quality at bats for this offense. The pitcher has to make a pitch here and slam this door shut, or this could get away from him.
It's time to get it done. Baltimore, let's see if they can.
It's the little things that come into play. What I like is the great secondary lead that allowed him to go first to third. Now they've got a chance to...
Jones, oh, he hit it hard. Say goodbye, a 3-run homer. He gets 3 guys home. Now they lead by 7.
Well, it's a hitting coach dream come true right here. Everybody's hitting the ball. Well, this is clearly the right call. He didn't have it at all today. Completely lost out there. You've got to bring somebody in to stop the blitz.
Towards the middle. Number 20. Throws to first in time. That's 3 down. So they add a 4 spot here to extend their lead even further. Baltimore, boy, are they making hay today. This is quite an explosion.